Hola, mi gente. Welcome to Hispanic Voices in Leadership. This Hispanic Heritage Month, I'm spotlighting the leaders who are redefining what it means to succeed authentically. Authenticity, as you know, is my topic. And from boardrooms to stages, these are trailblazers who are proving that our heritage isn't just part of the story, it is our superpower. And I am joined by Lili Gil. Lili is an amazing friend, a fellow Latina. We have been together from red carpets to the United Nations, Lili. And every time that you come, even into my home, there are these gems about how to succeed in business as a Latina that you share and that I wanted to share with my community today. So, welcome.
Thank you, Mariana. Anytime I have the privilege of speaking with you is such a treat. So all of you keep following Mariana because she's always full of gems.
So, Lili, you are the CEO of the Culture Plus Group. Essentially, and I'm going to say it simply, it's marketing solutions for global brands. You've worked with some of the biggest, the most iconic brands, and you still bring that Latino flavor to everything that you do. So, how do you balance honoring your roots while building your global business? What has been your secret?
The short of it is that I happen to be so blessed to do something that doesn't feel like work. Why? Because I feel like every day I'm honoring my roots and where I come from. In this particular case, as an immigrant from Colombia, proudly Latina here in the US, knowing that we are part of that group of the population that is driving more than 50% of the growth, and that if we were a nation of our own, we'll be the third fastest growing on planet Earth. That's how big we are as a Latino community. So it makes it quite easy when you anchor the numbers like that to continue to have a valuable value proposition, no pun intended. But I think ultimately what it is I've had the great privilege of converging a business need, an unmet business need. How do you tap into these high growth markets with identity? Who are you? Where am I? Where do I come from? Who am I honoring in the work that we do? And I do as a founder and as a CEO. And then what is it that the world of business wants to do, which ultimately is drive growth, revenue, shareholder value. And it happens to be that both where I come from, the numbers and the growth of our markets and the need for growth all kind of come into this perfect storm of opportunity. So every day in the work that I do and with my team, we get to live up proudly the fact that we represent those high growth markets that are helping the brands achieve their financial goals. So that's in a nutshell. So I know you have more questions, so we'll go from there.
And I actually want to go back to something you said, because whenever we see you even giving commentary on cable shows and on network shows, you always anchor it in the numbers. And I know you're used to saying these numbers, but they are so powerful that I want you to repeat them for our audience. So tell us, what is the economic prowess of the Latino community at this point?
Yeah, well, let me start with a blunt statement, Mariana. We all need to put a pin on this one. It is mathematically impossible for any business in America to achieve their full potential for growth and competitiveness without Latinos being a critical priority in their formula for growth. I'm not saying for compliance or for appeasing a number or for a dashboard with a checks box. No, it is actually to cash in the checks that they want to keep growing and driving shareholder value. So that said, here's why. So more than 50% of the net new growth in population in the US is coming from the US Hispanic market. Not because of immigration, not because of the border. No, we just happen to be younger and have more babies. So it's just called having bigger families, period, and being younger. So, and then when you look at the economics, it's fascinating. The numbers are so big. The latest numbers are showing that our GDP contribution to the country, if we were a country on our own, at $4.1 trillion in that Latino GDP in the US, it will make us the fifth largest economy in the world. That's larger than the UK and France. And when you look at the growth rate, it's the third fastest growing economy. So anyone in business that is looking for hyper growth, it's like you have it in your own backyard right here with the youthfulness, size, and growth of our communities as a market.
Yes.
And that is super exciting. And then labor, which is another kind of geeky term and thing that is important to the economists. You know, when you're looking every so often when the news or the business news are looking at the health of the American economy, jobs, right, is always, and the job market is always out there as one of those key indicators. Well, jobs need people to fill those jobs. And when you look at the net new growth, meaning what percentage of the new workers for the next decade in the United States are going to be Hispanic, 78% of net new labor in the US, 78%, that's a huge number from the US Department of Labor,
Crazy.
is Hispanic in the next decade. Why? That youthfulness. So basically, we're coming into the labor market faster than other cohorts that are older and are retiring. So it's just plain math. Again, you can politicize it all you want. I don't care what side of the aisle you sit on. This is plain numbers. So this like really overrides opinion or bias of how you feel. It's plain on numbers. And that's ultimately what has been the fuel for our business and what we do for a living.
I love that, Lili. And those are numbers that people should put a pin on, especially this month, but all year round.
Absolutely.
Explain to us how, your Latino heritage has shaped your approach to leadership.
Oh my goodness. I have a confession. I don't think I've ever said this on a public,
Platform.
platform like this. There was a time in my life when I thought I needed to blend in,
Mm.
especially in my corporate life, because I became a high-ranking corporate executive at a very young age. And that comes with its own bag of insecurities. And when you are like the youngest person in the room, I had to like pull my hair back, always wear like navy blue or black and look very professional and kind of be dry and try to blend in. And I realized that I was stripping away that sabor that we have. The ability to connect with people and be empathetic and maybe even a little bit funny and warm. And there is something with that warmth because I don't care how serious the room is or how big the negotiation is, you're still dealing with human beings. And that is emotional intelligence. Being smart about the numbers, how many degrees or fancy letters you have after your like name, sure, those are the technicalities. But that emotional intelligence is that superpower that allows you to connect to the heart of people.
Mm.
And intuitively in our culture, and I don't want to stereotype, but it is, why do you think people always want to be like invited to the Latin party? And I don't want to just make it, oh, Latin party, you guys are so fun and you dance, good music, and now the whole world wants to party with you. Sure, but you can bring that same warmth and
Yes.
connectivity and heartfelt humanity to a boardroom, to a negotiation, to a tough conversation with an employee because it just makes you empathetic. So I think that is one of those. The other one, which is going to be kind of like a I was talking to my kids literally about this yesterday, is the fact that we are bicultural bilingual. That means you get to be a chameleon. That means you get to have that culture of fluidity, which allows you to be not only culturally intelligent with your warmth and your connection to people, but you get to blend or adjust as needed. And you're not doing that to be fake or have two faces. No, you happen to be a chameleon. And depending on context, that's a superpower that you can turn
It's
on
a
or
superpower.
off.
I
For
call
sure.
I call us superheroes because we can
Yes.
navigate different cultures and different worlds and different languages, and we still bring our essence. And I love, Lili, that you brought up how you felt as a young Latina executive, because many of the conferences that I go to where there are Latino executives, even when they're already managers or even at the executive level, they have covered a lot of their heritage so much that now they don't know how to not wear the mask. So
Exactly.
I would encourage everyone who's out there, especially in this age of AI where trust is so important, the more you bring your authenticity, that flavor, that warmth, like Lili talked about, however your heritage shows up, that will ensure that people say, like, there's something about this person that is magnetic
Exactly.
because I trust them. So I love that you brought that up and how you had to adjust and say, is this really me, or can I be showing up without the mask? Because I'm sure that's going to inspire many people who are listening
Oh
to
my
this
gosh.
interview today. So I'm actually, I don't know that we've talked about this. I actually launched executive communication coaching, where I'm doing one-on-one coaching,
I love
teaching
it.
executives how to better communicate. Because guess what? You and I have had media training from our days in broadcast news, et cetera. Most executives have it. So that is one of the things, especially with Latino executives, that I'm seeing that they're struggling with in order to close that gap that exists between Latinos in mid-management and Latinos at the C-suite. What do you see Latino professionals struggling with in corporate spaces? And
Ooh,
how can we help them
yes.
through it?
Yes. Gosh, and this is a blessing and a curse of our culture. We have been taught to respect authority, right? Like, think about it. Grandma, the teacher, the priest, like, really, you're just like, sí, señora, you know? Yes, como, o dependiendo del país, como
Put your,
usted diga,
put your head
sí,
down.
señora. Yes.
Put your head down. Don't speak up.
I mean, look at our Mexican friends and that are watching. Like, if your mom calls you, how do you answer? You say mande, right? That's like, for those that don't speak Spanish, mande literally means like, it's almost like, give me an order.
Like what's your command?
Like, what's your command?
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
So I'm saying that because it's a beautiful thing, right? However, in a corporate setting, and this is, like it or not, I don't care what industry you're in, but this is a fact. You have to be able to toot your own horn.
100%.
And it doesn't mean you become that annoying, boastful person. Look at me, look at me, look at me, because then that's not authentic. Back to authenticity. But you cannot assume, and this is where our culture gets in the way sometimes, that just, mija, tú trabaja fuerte y te va a ir bien. Like, okay, you work hard, you keep your head down, you do your thing, and things will happen. Well, guess what? That's not how it works in corporate America, because you need to have peoples that know what you do and you do really well, so they become your cheerleaders and champions, so that they can talk about you when they are in that meeting, when they're talking about the next layer of leaders and who's going to get promoted and the slate for that promotion or whatever. But if you're not doing that, then nobody is there to represent you. And if you don't start by representing yourself, even worse, because then nobody will really represent you at all. So that is one thing that may feel a bit icky and uncomfortable, but we need to learn how to do that and do it in a way that is authentic, still humble, but strong, still vulnerable, but real and proud, right?
And you can be proud about it, intentional about it, but still be graceful and elegant and respectful about it. You're 100% right, Lili. And actually, you brought me back to these executives that I'm coaching where, I'm like, how would you introduce yourself on a LinkedIn post or in a meeting? They're like, no, my name is Jose Hernandez. I'm from Mexico and I work for Microsoft. I'm like, no, your name is Jose Hernandez. You're chief economist at Microsoft, and you are the first in the region to hold such a position. Like, if you don't tell me that,
Exacto.
as a media person, there is no way that I'm going to gather that from what you just shared. So even with something as simple as how do you introduce yourself at a panel, on a global stage, etc. Onto a question that you will love, which is the fact that we are promoting this series in partnership with our beautiful friends of the National Latino Museum for this campaign, which I know you fought tirelessly for. We both sit on the board. You were board chair. You're at the helm of this beautiful project. So tell us in a nutshell, Lili, why this is so important. And then the question that I'm asking all the executives, and I don't know your specific answer to this, if you had a magic wand and you could create an exhibit like curated by Lili, what story would you want featured?
Ooh, I like that. All right, so let me start with the context. I'm so glad you're bringing up the museum, because a lot of people don't know of that project, even though it's been going for like 30 years plus. Yes, it takes that long to get things done in Washington, D.C. because there's committees for the committee of the committee and all of that. The good news is I do feel like we're in the final stretch of a long, long marathon, because there is a bill. So that means, yes, there will be a museum built in Washington, D.C. for American Latinos and our history and the contributions to this country. We're waiting on confirming a location, and then that kind of like starts the whole process of building something. So why is that important? Because, you know, this is the basics of why history is important. First of all, we need to know where we come from so that we don't repeat patterns of history that have got us into trouble in the past, but also honor and uplift those things that have gotten us to be the amazing nation that we are. And sadly, because of many reasons, I don't want to blame, I'm just going to say, hey, circumstances of the time, history has been written by those that are holding power. And this is not an American phenomenon. You see it in Europe, you see it everywhere, because you want to keep power and kind of control narratives. But when you look at the US history, we have been woven into that for 500 years. I mean, it wasn't Jamestown, the first town, you know, where, you know, this great nation started. The oldest like settlement is St. Augustine, Florida, where Spanish was the primary language. So stuff like that that people don't even know. Like it was the Spanish criollos, our own ancestors from like Venezuela, Colombia, Dominican Republic, the Spaniards that had settled there, that had a lot of money and a lot of power in the crown right next to them. They were the ones that were helping the rebels here in the US actually beat the British crown, like smuggling like weapons in cod crates. And a lot of people don't even know that we were like our Spanish ancestors from like the Americas were like the financial backers for like the Revolutionary War. So stuff like that, that is kind of cool because it shows that we're more connected than disconnected. And the power of the Spanish language, even to this day, with the US being the second largest Spanish country in the world. So it's things like that that I think all Americans should be proud of. So that's what this is for. It's to complete that telling of the complete American experiment in history and everything that makes this country so unique, and that our future generations, get to celebrate that and fill in the pages that are missing. So what exhibit? I know you're asking me, oh my goodness. There are, because I've learned this through the museum's work, there are so many cool inventions, like an inventor section. Like I see it kind of like, you know, I just came back from being at the parks in Orlando with my kids. So I'm seeing like, oh, like an immersive world of like invention, because people don't know that the breast pump was like a Latino that invented that. Like the color TV, the hand sanitizer. Was a nurse in California, una Latina, came up with this. Imagine if she had like all the rights and patent for that during the pandemic. My goodness, you'd be a trillionaire. But anyway, like I want an inventor's corner, but really cool, immersive, kind of like Disney style. It would be so fun.
Yeah. Lili's Inventor's Corner.
Yes, like the inventor's workshop, where you get to like see how they made all these things. Yeah, cool things.
So now we're down to our rapid fire round.
Uh-oh.
Quick answers with the first thing that comes to mind.
Okay.
In honor of our bilingual superpowers, we're going to do mostly English. I'm going to leave a couple of questions in Spanish for us. Okay.
This is so fun. Hey, we didn't prepare these people, so who knows what?
I haven't
I don't know what Mariana's going to ask.
Any other questions? Okay.
All right.
What's one Colombian tradition that makes you a better leader?
Ooh. I don't know why this came to mind, and I don't think it's just Colombian. New Year's, you know, when you do the 12 grapes, I think that is a great way to set objectives and commit to them from the get-go. So there you go. I don't know why that came to mind. I never thought of it, but sure.
Can you believe you're not the first executive that I've
interviewed
that has said that, and not necessarily from Colombia? So I love that we actually.
Oh my gosh!
there is a self-help book about the 12 grapes that is just like begging to be written and shared with the world about.
You should write it.
About manifesting with the 12 grapes.
I love it.
Finish this sentence, Lili. Being Latina means.
Being a superhero.
What's the biggest misconception about who you are as a Latina?
That we're all about the party and the sassiness. We're much more than that.
In brief, for our future Latino museum, if you could design a museum exhibit, what would you want featured?
I want to feature all those inventors that people don't know about, of stuff they use every day.
Best advice that tu mamá or tu abuelita gave you about success?
Beware of rising up too fast. Mi mamá decía como la palma de coco, like the coconut palm, because you go up, up, up so fast, and then you fall as quickly as the coconut falls and breaks and crashes down. So beware of that. You gotta pace that. Que no se te suba la cabeza.
Eso. Lo que rápido sube, rápido baja. What would you tell your younger self about embracing your accent and culture?
Oh my gosh. I tried to strip it away so much in my early years. Just be you. Be free.
Biggest fear you help Latino clients overcome?
Latino clients. Or maybe employees. That their accent is not a weakness, but it actually shows that you're bilingual, which makes you better than most people you're interacting with.
And now to Spanish. I know, o sea, sé para estas preguntas en español que hay una controversia, vamos a decirlo así.
Ay, Dios mío, yo creo que ya sé.
¿De dónde viene la arepa, no? Que si de Venezuela o de Colombia, pero eso no es lo que...
Yo tengo respuesta.
Lo que no, quiero saber, porque creo que no vamos a terminar esta entrevista si nos ponemos a conversar del origen de la arepa. Mi pregunta para ti es, ¿la arepa que más te gusta es?
Arepa con queso, de esa que tú le pegas el mordisco y se estira así. By the way, la arepa es de la Gran Colombia, o sea que es de los dos.
Muy bien, Lili, qué diplomática. ¿Cuál es tu canción preferida en español?
La vida es un carnaval. Me encanta esa actitud de nuestra querida Celia Cruz.
Y tú eres así en la vida real, lo puedo confirmar. Última pregunta. ¿Tu dicho favorito, tu refrán favorito en español que usas mucho o que te viene a la mente ahorita?
Uy, el primero que se me vino de pronto por el carnaval es que al mal tiempo, buena cara.
Al mal tiempo, buena cara, me encantó. ¿Cómo le traducimos eso a los que hablan inglés?
I don't know. When there's bad times, put on a good face.
Right. Put some lipstick on like a good Latina and just get out there and do your thing.